much as I'm enjoying Roasting Hot at the Buddhist Centre. Welcome to the Roasting Hot Buddhist Centre. We're gonna sit on 2 blocks with a blanket not over the top of us, obviously. It's too hot for that. You can do anything you like. Treat this place as if it's our place. Do anything you like. You smoke a cigarette if you want, anything. Anything. Holy smoke, exactly. You're going to have a holy Marlborough. Buttock flesh drawn out and back. Hey, Kate. Morning, how are you? Oh, you're hot. Yeah, like everyone. How are you with the heat? Do you like it or not? Or right. What about when you're doing yoga? Do you like the heat then? Yeah. Good. That's the right answer. So we've got a blanket under our shins, palms facing up, attention into the buoyant, lifted heart, breathing through the nose. There are more of these new mats actually downstairs. If you want a new mat, I think they're a bit better. They're just in the room immediately underneath. Oh, thank you. Grab all of the new mats that you can see, because just all of them, if that's okay. There's not that, you should be able to, they're not too many. Sorry, Zoomers. I got caught up with the rumours. Anyway, palms up, eyes closed. So yoga becomes hopefully associated with straight away this sort of dropping in, I suppose. Dropping in. And dropping in isn't another thing we're reaching out for. It's not a thing we're trying to achieve or get to. New mats, thank you. You can close your eyes or half close them. The head is down, but the chest is up. There may be movement. The author of the Yoga Sutra, his name is Patanjali, Patan plus Anjali. Patan is a word that means to fall or to fly. But in this situation, you can imagine just sort of dropping into your center, falling into the center, effortlessly. So the word effortlessly is important. But we don't make an effort to be effortless, obviously. So the difficulty with yoga is what makes it really hard is it's so easy. And that makes it hard. So we can trust the breeze, we can trust the warmth, we can trust the skin, we can trust the breath, we can trust the moment, just as it is. So trust, of course, brings relaxation, doesn't it? That, you know, when we feel trust in the moment, in the breeze, in our skin, in the breath, so we want to have a physical sense of trust with our skin. Bring the hands to the heart. Take deep breaths if you feel like it. Deep breaths often release the diaphragm, and the release of the diaphragm releases the psoas, and the release of the psoas releases the spine, and the release of the spine releases the nerves, and the release of the nerves releases the mind, and the release of the mind releases the breath. I could go on. It's interdependent. Let there be movement if it comes. I often find myself moving, but I'm not contriving it or doing it. It's a sort of mirror of easefulness. Interlace your fingers to their roots and root them in to each other. Stretch your arms down diagonally and you'll feel your triceps, which attach on the olecranon process. It's an anatomical name that I like, is a prominence of the ulnar bone. I like it because olecranon process always sounds like the leader of an alien race to me. It's like, take me to the olecranon process. Anyway, that's where it attaches. And you raise your arms out and breathe easy and enjoy. It's a practical instruction to say enjoy. We even have phrases in yoga in Sanskrit like Sat Chitananda. Sat Chitananda is, Sat is this, right? The way it is. It's kind of like this. Chit is consciousness. Some people say heart, mind, consciousness. Ananda, bliss. Consciousness in this moment itself is bliss. Its objects may be pleasant or unpleasant or neutral. The consciousness is open. I went for a walk with a Buddhist friend of mine 2 days ago, and I said, how's your meditation practice going? He said, I'm not doing any at the moment, not doing any seated meditation, but he said, I keep my mind all the time in Mahamudra. That's when which means the great seal, which means this. It means Satchitananda, this. Take a big wide circle, palms up, enjoy deep breaths, let them happen. Deeper inhales and sigh-like exhales have a positive effect on the diaphragm. Movement, so we're sort of avoiding getting caught up in any of our sort of reactions. And it's bliss. When you're not caught up in your reactions, it's bliss. And how do you not get caught up in your reactions? Well, you focus on that which recognizes the reactions and therefore isn't them. Consciousness itself. Wiggle the fingers if you want, just to bring some life into the nerves that come from the shoulders to the fingers. And then we're going to change the cross of the legs and we're going to put the blanket back in. The pose itself that we're in, there's a gap between the legs and pelvis, and the buttock flesh is drawn out and back. The pose itself is called Sukhasana. Sukhasana. Su. Let's explore those in one. Su means good. Su. So we have like the word astika in Sanskrit, astika, from which we get the word swastika, which we might think that's not good, but that's because it was appropriated. Originally it was good before Nazis came along. And astika means it is. And so weirdly, suastika, which is the Sanskrit from which we get swastika, suastika means it is good. Right? So you can see how horribly misappropriated that was. Huh? So astika, it is. Su, it is good. What is it? The ungraspable but fully knowable this. We say tatata. Tatata means suchness. So breathe, move, relax, find ways to be happy. And movement helps me. I don't, subtle movement, because it's stopping me kind of getting caught up. So it might help you too. Bring your hands to the heart. It's Atman Jali. Atman Jali. Atman. It's a really complicated word to explain. It's simple as well. It means yourself. Anjali is prayer. Interlace your fingers. Stretch your arms diagonally. Raise the arms up when you're ready. Make sure not to impinge on the roots of the neck. So that's the upper fibers of the trapezius and some of the middle fibers. So if you move your head and, it's all about effectiveness. It's not about looking right, it's about feeling right. So as you breathe and move, you're just looking for love. Right? So love is peace, isn't it? It's a move in a way that's lovely, that's peaceful. And that opens up your breath as well. Lovely, peaceful, and opens up your breath. Big circle. It's nice to draw a big circle. Palms facing up. There was some talk about painting a big Zen circle in the room, like middle room. I don't know if they're still going to do it, but there's something beautiful about the image of a big circle. It's complete. There's nothing you need. There's nothing outside of it that you need. It's complete. Fingers have a little wiggle when you're ready. We're going to remove the blanket and we're going to fold the legs back. You're right in the sun there, Dan? Okay. Don't get sunburned. I worry about you. You are fair, exactly. Draw the butterflies out and back when you're ready. So this is Virasana. If you need more blocks, I'm using 2, but you can use 3, you can use 4. The legs should be peaceful. Interlace your fingers, stretch your arms diagonally down. Should be sat comfortably. If you're not comfortable, then have another rock. Stay, I got you. Let me run to you. I want to run to you. See, it's love. It's love that makes people run to people. So this is Virasana. Interlace the fingers, raise the arms. This raised arm position could be called Urdhva Baddha Angulyasana. That's hard to remember. But not if you know the individual. Urdhva means up. Baddha, bound. Angulya means fingers in Sanskrit. So be happy. Remember the Bobby McFerrin song, it's relevant. Don't worry, be happy here and now. Because it affects your body positively. So be happy means like, I'm not happy if I'm worried or if I'm not sure. If I've got doubt, then I'm not happy. And here you don't need to have doubt, because what you need to know is this, the tatata, the way things are. This. So play, and what we get is listening, responding. So you move a little and then you get feedback, like an artist putting a brushstroke on a canvas and then they step back. She steps back and she looks at the brushstroke and then gets an instinct where to put the next one, and the next one, and the next one. Take a big circle when you're ready. Big circle, big Zen circle. Rest one hand on top of the other. Take deep breaths. Take 5 or 6 deep breaths. Jaw soft, eyes soft. Okay, slowly release your hands. We're going to come off our blocks and we're going to come onto our hands and knees. So that's quite straightforward. I quite like tucking my t-shirt in because otherwise it comes up over my head and I show all my tummy and it's dead embarrassing. So I'm going to tuck so you might want to tuck your t-shirt in, or you might want to untuck it if you like getting your tummy out. That's fine too. But just know what you're doing. Make a choice. Both choices are happily accepted. Fingers face forwards, middle fingers face forwards. Spread your hands and repeatedly mesh your palms into the mat. I don't know how else to say that really. That's it. Mesh your palms into the mat. And then toes tucked, lift your bottom up and continue to mesh your palms into the mat, like merging. In Sanskrit, we use the word laya, L-A-Y-A, laya or layanam, which means melting, merging. So as you move, the purpose of your movements is melting, merging. So you can sway your pelvis, you can bend your knees, you can bend and extend your knees. See if you can flick the occasional wave of life through your back, like flicking a wave through a skipping rope. Great. Yeah. The heels might explore going backwards. And sometimes you feel that as the heel goes backwards, you might feel a little lift on the inner leg, right up to the groins. So you can experiment with that. You can take a heel backwards and then release it. But every time you take it backwards, see if you feel other sensations accompanying it, like the groins lifting, like the thighs lifting, like the back thighs deepening. Great. Okay. Come down to hands and knees. And then come forwards with your legs and cross them. Dead simple, just cross-legged. That's it, great. Tuck the buttocks under, so come towards the front of your mat. Come this way, that's it. And then tuck the buttocks under, and then that's it, you're laying down. So the buttocks going that way, like under, that way. And then you're laying down. You can raise your arms up, once you're down, and wave them around like you're all sort of carefree. Imagine it was a sunny weekend, and it was a seaside town where people come to relax and chill out. And imagine not only that, but you were in a Buddhist center, right? A place where people come to relax, and there's a Buddha picture, and he's all looking chilled out. Imagine, and there was a little breeze. Wouldn't that be nice? So wave your arms around as if that scenario was happening. Right? And then gradually bring them over your head. Use the movements to massage the myofascia, which means, you know, lift a shoulder blade, lift the other shoulder blade, pull and stretch the various tissues, the skin, the superficial fascia, the muscles between the shoulder blades, the muscles across your armpits and chest. Take deep breaths, keep your eyes soft. Take deep breaths, keep your eyes soft. Take a deliberately deep breath when you're ready. Like really deep in, really deep out. You know, and another after that. And another after that. And whatever you need, to kind of feel super calm and loved. Any movements that are natural, let them happen. This is called supta, sukhasana. We had sukhasana, this is supta. Supta is cognate with the English word supine, laying down. Okay, change the cross of your legs in situ, so the other one goes in front. And I don't know about you, but I quite like bringing my hands to the upper buttocks and just scooting the buttock flesh towards the heels. You might want to try that. Hands to the upper buttocks, just scoot. That's it, you got it. And then you get another opportunity to hydrate the myofascia on your arms and back by moving your arms side to side above your head and gradually bringing them down towards the floor through this sort of massaging motion. This massaging motion. And repetition, abhyasa, the Yoga Sutras say, repetition, vairagya, like easefulness, not getting caught up in. Getting caught up means attaching a sense of this is mine, this is not mine, a sense of me, either in the sort of rejecting or accumulating mode. That's what attachment means. So non-attachment is letting things be as they are without having to say this is mine and this is not mine, or this is happening to me. That whole my, me, myself, and I reference just drops. So the Yoga Sutra says abhyasa, vairagya, abhyam, both together. Practice, abhyasa, vairagya, it's spacious easefulness together. Tannirodha, bring about this kind of nirodha, which means non-proliferation. We all know what it's like when one thought generates another and another, and it feels like it goes on, and one thought generates an action that makes another action, and we just feel like it's all proliferating. Nirodha is where things just become beautifully, we become beautifully still. Not in the sort of physical holding yourself still. There might be lots of movements, but the stillness is a sort of openness. We're not reacting, we're just open. Bring the arms forwards again towards your legs and bring your legs up. So your knees point up, tuck the buttocks under. Put your hands underneath your head, like you're on holiday in a seaside town, and it was 30 plus degrees today, it's going to be. Breathe through your nose. Jaw soft. And just observe how lovely the body can feel when you allow it. So that just means you're not trying to be anything or not be anything. There's nothing to get, there's nothing to get rid of. We use this word purnam. Purnam means full, complete. Purnam. Flex your hips when you're ready. That means just lift your feet. And your lower back, I hope you can feel it kind of kissing the floor. It's like a mwah, that kind of mwah. Long kiss on the cheek from someone you like. What's great about a long kiss on the cheek from someone you like is the person who's kissing you and you both disappear into that sort of timelessness. So feel your lower back on the floor and feel free to move. Sometimes a kiss has got a bit of movement, So it's like mwah over there and mwah over here. Let it have a bit of movement. And look for moments that are beyond. Tatparam, beyond. So there's a layer where everything's noisy and everything's busy, and then there's beyond that. We could call it the near shore and the far shore. And the far shore is the beyond. Now, once you've had a roll about, and I think it's rather fantastic to roll about on your back, I can't get enough of it. But once you've had a good roll about, we're going to simply extend one leg out to about 45 degrees. Now that loads the abdominals, so keep a deep intimacy with the floor and the back. Intimacy is more than just contact, isn't it? It's intimacy, so it's got movement. When someone kisses someone on the cheek that they like, they want to merge. So it's got that merging. Bend that leg back and extend the other when you're ready. Similarly, get intimate sensations going on with the back and the floor. Intimacy is merging. It's like love. Love wants to merge. If you even listen to a record that you like, you want to merge with it, right? It's like, I just want to merge with it. So with a person you love or with an environment. Flex that back when you're ready and lift your head up. So both legs are flexed back, but now your head is up. Great, and you're breathing through your nose. Adjust your hand position if you want. It can be higher or lower. What we want is a soft, relaxed neck, and the belly can be quite toned, actually. Now we're going to tone it more by lifting up so much that the pelvis comes off the floor, see if you can. It might make you tremble. Nothing wrong with that. I tremble in this pose quite a lot. Quite like it, a little trembling. So breathe into it. Good job. Okay, now come out of that position by lowering the head and slowly lowering the feet. Now here's a tease where you're going to touch the toes lightly. So lightly, like it's like a tease. It's like, oh, come on, Jim. Let me land them properly. Nope, not yet. Lift your head with your toes touching the floor lightly. You might get a trembling tummy. Nothing wrong with that. Good job. Breathe through your nose. Keep your jaw soft. Now lift your feet up. Jim, come on, so mean. And lower the head down slowly. Now lower the feet down slowly. And then take the big, deep breath you want to take. Sigh like exhale. Take a few. So give to the breath over the next few breaths. Especially the exhale. Now release your hands from behind your head when you're ready and raise up a leg straight in the air. Doesn't matter which one. Got two. It's not too big a choice. And then flex your foot between dorsiplantar flexion or circling, half circling, or swinging the whole leg. Anything that kind of makes the leg feel like it's getting a massage. It's getting a bit looser. It's getting a bit softer. It's getting a bit freer. So move your leg medially, move your leg laterally. Just get it going on. Okay. And you know it's right, not because you think it's right, because that will lead you to doubt. If you think about anything, it leads you to doubt. If you're not sure, think about it. There you go. Okay, so our gauge of whether it's right is the breath. You move to the right position and it's like, oh yeah, the breath affirms it. And our language shifts to proto-language, what I call proto-language. Language that's expressive rather than descriptive. Like oohs and ahs and ums and perhaps oh gods, These are exclamatives. And that's how it should be in yoga. You're kind of like, rather than, oh, this feels interesting. It's more like that, expressive. Okay, bring that leg down if you're ready. Take a deep breath. I'd like to hear it. In and out, and then take a few. So really letting go. And if you're ready, when you're ready, the other leg will go up. Similarly, we're going to flex the foot. We're going to move the leg. Whatever works for you. I guess one way to describe a yogi is someone who wants to see their philosophical stance expressed and that they are highly practical. A yogi is someone who's like, oh, I'm really only interested in what works. I'm not going to hang on to dogma. If you read Hatha Yoga texts, especially from the 15th century on, 14th century on, we find that the texts often begin with this sort of non-sectarian affirmation that you can do these practices if you believe in God or if you don't, or if you're a Buddhist or if you follow Vishnu or if you don't, or if you're a Jain practitioner or if you're not, whatever. It's like, because what makes you a yogi is not what you believe, but your direct experience. So we want the direct experience of absorption, and you can believe or give a label to that absorption as the goddess or as the field or as Buddha mind or as the blue sky mind. That doesn't matter. That, how you label it just defines whether you're, using Buddhist terms or Vaishnava terms or whatever. Right. Once that's all feeling lively, we bring it down. Take a deep breath again. Bring your heels close to your bum when you're ready. Stretch your arms towards your feet. Make sure you're in the middle of your mat, not to the left or the right. And hold your mat firmly, right? So get a good hold. Gather the mat actually into your hands. You got it. And then turn your arms out so your chest is open. I hope you like that. I like that when I do that, turn my arms out. Because straight away, chest is wider, spine is lifted, shoulder blades press into some of the muscles and cause release. Now tone your tummy like a wave, which means your tummy draws in towards the floor and up towards your head. And then lift your bum up off the floor. And you can move it, shake it, tilt it, sway it. Just keep your back soft any way that works. So shaking it feels pretty good. I think there's something called tree, I don't know, TRE. I've seen one friend of mine's got into it. Anyway, seems to be shaking, right? Shaking. And I like that. And I've been a fan of that myself for a long time. Shaking so that the habit patterns don't get anything to cling to. So you could shake out the pelvis, you could tilt it, but gradually, as it eases off, turn your arms out further and open your chest up more. So the chest starts coming naturally and easily towards the chin. Chin and chest coming towards each other. My lower back wants to tighten, so I have to loosen it hundreds of times. And that tightness is the habit of being somebody that causes us confusion. So if you step out of the tightness of the back, you step out of that confusion. Okay, come down, internally rotate your arms, catch your breath, walk your feet away from your bum, put your arms somewhere comfy and take deep breaths. 5, 6, 7 or more deep breaths. Neck relaxed, jaw relaxed. Breathing easy. When you're ready, roll over. If you're here live in the Martika, I call this room a Martika, roll towards this side. If you're at home zooming, you can roll any way you like. Any way you like at home zooming. Now we're going to support our head with our hand, like that. And I know this is, some of you will be used to this position because of the way that you eat grapes at home on your chaise longue. So, you know, just get in that position like you get in when you're eating grapes, and then extend your bottom ribs multiple times. So lift them, stretch them, get them to really touch the floor. Do the same with your armpit. Do it lots of times until you feel contact, you know, increasing. And then start to, the more contact you've got, the more raw material you've got to transform into gold. What is gold in yoga? Well, we go from contact to touch. So touch begins the transformation. Contact's different from touch, isn't it? Quite different, very different. So turn it, the contact to touch. And you can move to increase the touch. And then touch naturally migrates into intimacy. And what is intimacy? Intimacy is where you start to disappear. You can become intimate with a person, you disappear into each other. You become intimate with a scenery, you know, in the countryside, you can be intimately aware of the energetics. So move and play and merge. Now eventually we're going to stabilize ourselves as much as we can, and it's quite fun if you don't feel stable, and it's fine if you fall. We're going to bring our top leg up and play with it. Between the horizontal and vertical planes. And the purpose is to limber up, you know, good old-fashioned limbering up, which just melts myofascia and hydrates it and heats up muscle. You want to breathe into it and keep playing with it. Eventually, through this loosening up, it becomes increasingly possible, because the adductors are looser, to bring the leg to the upright in what I would call agreement. So in certain languages, you have to make sure that sentences have parts that agree with each other, like in Latin or Sanskrit. So agreement means that they resonate with each other, that they don't sort of go against each other. So you have to make sure in a Sanskrit sentence that you get agreement. And here the same. The agreement is where more and more cells are on board, letting go of what they were doing and embracing this. And then if you're ready, big challenge for someone like me anyway, is to bring my hand to my foot more than my foot to my hand. And it's a challenge because I don't know if it's nurture or nature, but my personality is not very patient. Could be that I've got Mars in Gemini. Don't know. Could be because my mum always rushes around like a blue-ass fly. Don't know. Nurture or nature. But anyway, it takes me time because I just want to just give me that toe. So it's very good to practice kshanti, it's called in Sanskrit. And to be disciplined about that, to take as long as it takes. Now, not everyone can reach the toe, and that's fine. You can hold the leg, or you can simply push your arm against the leg. There's lots of ways. If you do hold the big toe, you might want to play with extending it, which you can do if you want, but you don't have to. Enjoy. It means enjoy the sensations of the stretch, because the sensations are what matters. Not how far you've stretched, but the richness of the sensations. Good. Good job. It's good. And it's fun. I mean, it's fun for adults to lay around and muck about, and it's good. Yeah. Yes. Good job. Let's come down. We've got successes. Down you come. Just melt a bit. Yeah. Take some deep breaths. That pose is called Anantasana. Ananta means eternal, but some of you are thinking, thank God it wasn't eternal. That pose, quite a challenge in a good way. Knees up. Come up from the side. Just push, and you're up. Hello, good morning. And then legs go the other way. So same thing. Still going to face, if you're in the room, towards this beautiful painting of the Buddha. It's actually quite accurate. I used to think, why has he got blue eyes? He's from India, right? Why has he got blue eyes? It doesn't make sense. But the texts actually tell us that he had blue eyes in the text. So, I don't know, maybe he was from somewhere, like some parts of India people do have lighter colored eyes, like Kashmir and places like that. So anyway, it does, in the text, he has blue eyes and golden skin, like that. So he kind of does look like that. Obviously, there's some artistic interpretation with all the blobs, but I like the blobs on that as well, because it looks like interdependency. Those little dots around his head, that they kind of merge through his head. It's like interdependency. Love it. Extend the bottom ribs lots of times. Do it a few more times to develop interdependency, which is what we already are. What gets in the way is what stresses us out, which is, this sense that I'm here and you're there. But underneath it, we can feel that we're one. But then we overlay that oneness with thoughts. You're, there, I'm here. You're this gender, I'm that gender. You're from this place, I'm from that place. I'm this age or that age. But we know each other. Before the speech comes in, don't we? So don't worry about the speech. We're not trying to get rid of it. We're just trying to recognize that there's this knowing, and then there's the speech, and just recognize it. Because I know, we know it's true. Sometimes there's a lyric in Pink Floyd. You can bring your leg up while I'm remembering this lyric. Does anyone like Pink Floyd at all? Yeah. I really like Pink Floyd, especially early Pink Floyd, the very psychedelic stuff. I'm into that. But There's a line that Roger Waters says, it's something like, I caught a glimpse out of the corner of my eye. When I turned to look, it was gone. And it's like, that's our interdependency. It's there all the time. And then he says, I cannot put my finger on it now. The child has grown, the dream is gone. It's quite sad, really. But that's what it is. You know, we are feeling it all the time out of the corner of our eye. Right? In other words, before you deliberate, you know. So trust that. And that is the same that allows us to know this, which is, this is everything. The body is not a body, it's everything. When you reach for the big toe, practice your kshanti, your patience. Speaking mostly to me. Practice your patience, Jim. But if you're anything like me, maybe you've got Mars and Gemini too, I don't know, or other restless star sign qualities. Then you might need to practice your patience too. Practicing patience is the observing of restlessness without giving restlessness a hard time. Don't rush, take your time. Breathe through your nose. Well done. If you want, you can straighten the leg. Sometimes it's super wobbly. I like the wobbliness myself. I like this sort of, you know, that it ups the ante a little bit. You know, will I fall? It's quite exciting. Don't hold your breath. Let that flow. Let the body flow. Let the eyes be soft. Yeah, that's right. Let the eyes be soft. Let the body flow. And the saying is, the more you step towards the goddess, the more she steps towards you. The saying is, you take one step towards the goddess and she'll take 10 towards you. What is the goddess? This. This. Okay, leg down. So the goddess is those sort of little dots around the Buddha, you know, on the picture. That's the goddess. The interdependent. Knees up, come up from the side, all chilled and relaxed. And then we'll do a pose I think of as a bit funny. I think it's a bit funny. I don't know why. See what you think. Hold your big toes. Then you're going to lean back. So make sure you don't lean back and fall on someone. And make sure you're on your mat and not going to kind of lean back off it. And then lean back until your feet come off the floor. And breathe as if you were as if everything was all right. As if if you turned the radio on this morning, instead of them, you know, going like, oh, this is bad and that's bad and the other's bad, instead they went, good morning, everyone. Everything's fine. Over to Nigel, let's say. Nigel. Oh, yes, everything's fine here too, thanks. And all these world correspondents, they're like, over to you. It's pretty good. Everything's all right. Imagine that's the news you'd heard this morning. Everything's all right. Because it is. Right now, we're in the Buddhist Centre, aren't we? What's wrong? Is anything wrong? You might be thinking, what? Surely there's something wrong. Maybe it's something I'm supposed to know that I don't know, or do that I'm not doing. You can do anything. You can raise your leg. I said earlier, you can do anything. Smoke a cigarette, do a backflip, eat a packet of Smarties. This is just random things. So you can raise the legs if you want. Don't have to. This is the bit I think is funny. Don't know why. I just think people look funny when they do this. Especially, I think I can't see myself, but I imagine I look funny. Man who's a 52-year-old man doing that. It's a bit funny. Breathe into it. And then go light if you want. like if you want. And for me, going light means I don't feel any, or I feel heavy if I feel pressure, you know. So I don't feel any pressure. I don't feel pressure to have the legs straight or bent. I can hold the little toe side of the feet if I want, or big toe side. It's all good. Good. Okay. Bring the feet together. Baddha Konasana. Now, the thing I like to do is to lift my body up using my hands. I like to lift my body up. Breathing. Oh, that's very kind. You're worried about him too, like I was. We're worried about Dan getting, because he's his lovely fair skin he's got. Don't want him to get burnt. You got some sun cream on it. Good. Dan's one of the kind of people you can't help but care about him. It's just lovely, isn't it? Just can't help it. Anyway, take a few breaths. And but he's okay, everyone. Dan's okay. He's okay. Breathe. That's true. Get some vitamin D. It's good to do it early. Good. Now we're not just feeling not worried. We're feeling happy. Dan's actually getting vitamin D. That's good. Now, you can rock around. You know, sometimes you rock around when you're feeling happy about someone getting vitamin D. Like, hey. And of course, rocking around hydrates the myofascia, like the adductor myofascia. The adductors are the 5 muscles of the inner thigh: brevis longus magnus, pectineus, and gracilis. Pectineus and gracilis. And those muscles are all attached to the pubic bone and to the inner thigh at various lengths. How's that knee? Is that knee okay? See? What happens? Is it okay? What happens if you take your feet further forwards or bum further back? Better? Okay. Do that then. That's all right. Take deep breaths. We're all concerned about each other. Everybody's like, oh, you're okay, you're okay, you're okay. You're having a drink, that makes me feel good, because quenching your thirst. You breathe into it. I might have one too. So a drink. So playing is nice. And this pose is called Baddha Konasana. Baddha means bound, Kona means angle. Breath, breath, breath. Trust the breath. Trust the skin. Trust the breeze. Okay. I love Baddha Konasana. I don't know why. Anyway, we'll come out of it. In case you don't love, maybe you do love it too, but just in case you don't love it, we'll come out of it and we'll come into another pose, Upavishta Konasana. Now, Upavishta Konasana, you might need a block. And the block, the corner will face forwards, right? So let me sit on a block and show you what I mean. Corner faces forwards, you sit on it, you take your legs wide. So you've got this little bit of block just sticking out in front of the pelvis. And what that means is your sitting bones are on the block, but your thighs are not. So have the block ski width. It also gives me a chance to say ski width. I don't get to say as much as I'd like to in my day-to-day life. I challenge you at some point today to say ski width. Get it into a sentence. I don't challenge you to spell it because I don't know how. Okay. Now let's look for equal distance. You can sit on 2 blocks rather than 1 as well if you need the extra space and height. Take your hands cupped like that, like a bear, and then turn them back and place them on the floor behind you and use them to give you a boost, a lift up boost. A bit more than that, boost yourself up. Come on, a bit more. So you feel like there's a bit of a stretch coming from your groins, you got it, and your chest is up. So what we don't want is a sort of, because that makes you feel like, So you want up, your chest up, especially the bottom of the breastbone, right? So the breastbone has 3 bits, the manubrium attached to the collarbones, the body of the sternum attached to the ribs, and then the xiphoid cartilage at the bottom, which is cartilaginous. See if you can get some lift there. It might be hard, and if it's hard, you are allowed to do a face like it's hard if you want. For example, So, sometimes it helps, doesn't it, doing one of those faces? Now we're going to lift and turn towards our right foot and look at the foot. Just have a look at the foot. Now feet, here's something you might not know. Feet like to be looked at, and they don't get much looking at normally. Normally they get shoved in socks, shoved in shoes, shoved in footwells of cars, shoved under desks. So now that your foot is like, oh, are you really looking at me? And what happens to the foot when it feels seen is it begins to kind of open up a bit, begins to flower, because it normally thinks, oh, go in the footwell, I go in the sock. But now it's like, oh, okay. So it starts to flower a bit. And that means physically it starts to open a bit. Keep your awareness on your back leg as you lift and turn towards your other one, and give that foot a look as well. Just really look at your foot. Double dare you. Triple dare you. That's it. You can look at the toes.
I noticed that swimming last week. I started actually moving my toes after swimming for quite a few days.
There you go.
In a row. And I sort of started to kick with my toes, which is weird.
I know exactly what you mean. It's because the plantar fascia on the soles of the feet starts to get softer.
Yeah.
And you become more conscious.
Just like, why have I not been using the whole thing before?
Exactly. And doesn't it feel amazing when you do move your toes when you're swimming? I did it this morning myself. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
So breathe into that feeling of, it's like aliveness. It's very simple. It's not a thing you're doing. It's just nice. Just like nice, like natural. Sit up even taller. Go on. Bit more. Yeah. Bit more. Yeah. Well done. You're doing great. And then return to center. Well done. Let's bring our legs back together in case we never can again. Great. And then bring yourself up to standing. Anytime you like, as long as it's immediately. So immediately bring yourself up to standing and just shake out a bit so you feel limber and loose and kind of, relaxed. And then bring your feet together. Oh, it's warmer up here on this strata, isn't it? Oh, it's warm up here. Spread your toes. Raise your arms up. Lightly tone the tummy. So move in ways that help. I sometimes bend one knee because it makes my body drift that way. Or the thing about it is just efficacy. It's just got to be effective. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It matters only what it feels like. And what it should feel like is like you're getting into it. Right? You're sort of getting into it. It's almost as if James Brown was saying, get into it, man. Get into it. Kind of getting into your groove, as it were. And you're getting into an in-up feeling. Everything goes in and up. In and up. So the tummy's sucked in, right? So it's toned. Tummy sucked in. And the pelvic floor is conversationally buoyant. I don't know if that makes sense or not. Pelvic floor is conversationally buoyant. Good. Big, wide circle, hands to the hips. Step the feet apart. Generous stride. Have a look at your toes. Make sure they're equidistant from the front of the mat. And turn your left toes in. Right foot and leg turns out on the ball of the foot. And you finish off the turn on the heel at the last moment. So you get heel to arch alignment. Then stretch your arms and raise your arms. Inhale, raise your lead arm. Exhale, come down. Keep a little space in the inner groin of the back leg. Like just a mental, physical feeling of openness. Like easy. Space is always easy, isn't it? People never complain. It's like, I don't have, I have too much space in my life. It's the opposite, isn't it? It's like, it's not enough space. So space always feels, oh yeah, I like that. Whether it be physical space, whether it be mental space or both. Keep breathing through your nose. Jaw soft. Let your bottom shoulder blade pull down and your top arm go up. That's good. Stretch your fingers up. Yeah, wiggle them a bit so they feel like they've got a bit of life in them. And anything, you can do jazz hand, just one jazz hand, yeah. Or wiggle your fingers. But breathe through your nose, keep your eyes soft. Yeah, okay, inhale, come on up. I like that. I like that. Fingers, feet face forwards, hands on the hips, deep breaths, plural. Really let some happen. And while they're happening, turn your back toes in, front foot and leg out on the ball of the foot first, finish off the turn on the heel. Beautifully done. Heel to arch alignment, check it, double check it. Raise the arms and feel your ribs lifting. Raise your lead arm, inhale, beautiful, graceful. Move gracefully. Breathe through your nose. Move gracefully. Good. Deep breath, soft eyes, soft brain. Soft jaw. Imagine you were like really getting into it. Take a breath. Imagine you're like, oh, I'm really getting into this. Even say to yourself, I'm really getting into this. And you move in ways that kind of getting you into it more. I'm getting into this. Breathe like you're kind of, this is good. You can't even really say the words. It's more, expressive, like, oh. Good. Windmill down your top arm. Down to the mat. The other one comes either side of the foot. Externally rotate your back heel. Step your front foot back. You're back in Ardha Mukha Svanasana. And pad your paws into a deeper weave with the mat. Imagine the molecules of your hands every time you slightly lift them and then press them back down, that they merge into the molecules of the mat. Palm molecules, mat molecules merge through repetition. And you see the vairagyam, the non-attachment, means that you can move with the way things are. Huh? Because the way things are is living. So if your mind is open, then it's engaged. And it's in love. Non-attachment is actually love. Sounds awful, non-attachment, like, don't care. It's not that. It's openness. You're not over-focused on one thing more than the other. Come down to hands and knees when you're ready. And then bring your forearms down as if you're holding bunches of flowers. So your forearms are on the floor. You got it. Breathe through your nose. Then stretch your legs back so your legs lift up and you're sloping from from shoulder blades to buttocks, from buttocks to heels. So no floating buttocks and no wilting pelvises. So wilting pelvis is just where the pelvis is sort of sagging down. You're like, I can't stop it, it's sagging, Jim. It's going down. Pull it up if it's sagging down. And floating buttocks is as if the buttocks had helium in them. They're just sort of floating. It's like, I can't stop them, Jim. They're floating up. So get something in the middle and share the load. Now, I love you. That's the context for what I'm about to say after that, which is touch one knee lightly to the floor. I love you. Bring it up and do the same with the other. I still love you. It's all out of love. And then both knees touching lightly. If you need to rest, don't. Okay. And then bring both up. Okay, knees forwards and come up to a regular kneeling position. You can use blocks between the heels and buttocks. Just sit up where you are, breathe deep, take deep breaths. And you just feel it, right? Through the breath, you can just feel it. Deep breaths. Jaw soft, eyes soft. You gave in the end. You got too much vitamin D. Yeah. Okay, come up and fold the mat. It's okay, Zoomers at home. Dan's not in the sun anymore. It's okay. I could see some of you were worried, but we're getting texts, people texting in, get him out of the sun. Fold your mat, triple ply, 3 folds. And then we're going to use a block at the other end. If you've got cork blocks, I prefer, but some people prefer a foam block. I prefer a cork block so much that I'm going to bloody well get myself one. Now, if you want a cork block, let me know, because I'm getting one. I get you one too. Not at home. The Zoomers I can't get a cork block for. Who wants a cork block? Anyone? Cork. Cork block, Dan? There you go. Anyone cork blocking? Doesn't matter which one you use. You can try both. I go cork. I just like it more. We're going to kneel on the triple ply bit of mat. So the cork block one side, triple ply the other side. And then you kneel on the triple ply. Quite enjoying saying triple ply. I imagine it's what real men say, things like triple ply when they're talking about plywood, I imagine. And 2x4s, they say that as well, don't they? And they say, what's the score on the footy? So I'm just trying out what 7-0. Then stretch your leg out to the block. Don't test me on it, Dan. The heel to the knee, breathing easy. Now we're going to lift the heel up off the floor. And you'll feel the back of the leg moves in towards the front of the leg. So you're on the block, you're lifting your leg up like that. Okay. Once you feel the back of the leg moving towards the front of the leg, keep that energy, but bring the heel down. Keep that energy, but bring the heel down. Stretch your arms. Turn your palms. Beautiful. Now just check that your standing leg is sloping, right? So push your block a bit further away if it's not sloping. Just a little slope is all it needs. Turn the palms. Inhale. Exhale. Back of the leg up towards the front of the leg as you come down. That supports it. Look up. Stretch up. And maybe over. But maybe not, because sometimes if your arm goes over, it feels like, hang on a minute, it's enough. So whatever. And you breathe into it as you turn. The pose is called Parigasana, cross bar of a gate. And I suggest you get into it. So just get into it. Good job. Now come up. That's a beast. Yeah, exactly, Kate. Bring your legs back together. Kate was doing the face that I think quite a lot of people do in this pose, which is like, whoa, whoa. Yeah, exactly. The gate's, oh, that's good. Second side, the gate's open. I like that. My Lord. Sometimes you know already that you've had a favourite moment of the day. You saying that, that's it, I think, for me. My favourite quote of the day. If I ever re-quote it, I will credit you with it. Yeah. Hands on the hips, standing up, like someone who's quite small with a lot of attitude. Might be small, but I've got attitude. It's often good to mix those two things together. And then extend the leg out, right? The heel lines up with the knee. Good job. Good job. Does your heel line up with your knee? Just check. And the standing leg is slightly sloping. You can overdo it and then everything just collapses. What we want is the outer hip to be able to go in and the inner groin to go up. It's an in, up, and then that continues right the way up the side of the spine that you raise the arm. Raise the heel so you feel the back of the leg go in towards the front of the leg. You got it. It's great. And then once you know what that feels like, don't hold your breath, but maintain that subtle sense of drawing in. As you inhale, exhale, come down, look up. Stretch up, maybe over, maybe not. Just up is enough usually. And breathe into it. Good, yeah, good. Use your intuition. Jaw soft. I call it the yogi's espresso, because it's like, whoa, I am awake now. Keep breathing. Inhale, come up. Oh, God. Woo. Bring your legs back together. Woo. Take a breath. You can put a block between the heels and buttocks for just kneeling, or 2 blocks between the heels and buttocks, or 3 blocks between the heels and buttocks so you can kneel, and just take breath. Just take breath. Deep breaths, natural breaths. Jaw soft, eyes soft, brain soft. Now, I think we all have a cork block, but I'll bring one round. If you don't have a cork block at home, you can use regular blocks, or you can even fold up your mat. But I'll show you what I mean. If you've got a cork block, super duper. Otherwise, you can fold up your mat to make a support that goes into your middle back. We're going to use a regular block or more than one for the head. So all we're going to do is lay down. Oh, it might dig in quite a lot. That's part of it. I'm just warning you. But it's good for you. Probably 2 blocks for your head, and arms stretched out. It wants to go above your waist. So it's in your ribs. Probably 2 blocks for the head. Good. Not in the waist, so above the waist, and the brick goes in your back. Yeah, you got it. You got it. You can put padding on it. So I put padding on it for you. You'll be all right. Okay. Stretch your arms out to the sides. Yeah, exactly. Digs in, huh? But make sure it's not in the lower back. Good job. Oh, is it digging in? It's all right. It looks all right, yeah. I think you'll survive. I think you'll come out the other end. Good, good. And breathe into it. Beautiful. To take the opportunity to breathe into the wide open chest and to let the pectoralis muscles say yes. Kate, we're friends, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, great. Just do that then. Okay, thanks. You always want your arms just to be just above your phone. That's the... Good, beautiful. Yeah, I'm just going to do that with your arms just a little higher like that. Is that all right? Yeah, and same on the other one, a little bit higher. Yeah, great. And then deep breaths. Looks great. You quite like it, I think. Good. So basically, we're just opening the chest. You can do this with a rolled up blanket. There's another thing you can do at home if you haven't got a brick block. You can improvise with books. Yogis should learn to improvise, I think. And little adjustments of where it is can make big differences to how comfortable it is. We don't want it to be super uncomfortable. Okay, bring your arms back together towards your pelvis or tummy. Bend your legs. Lift your bum so it's the same height as the bricks. Just lift your bum so it's the same height as the bricks. And just let the pelvis drift left and right. Give yourself a couple of moments like that. Jaw soft, eyes soft. Lift your pelvis till your back feels looser, lighter, the lower back. Come down slow and easy. Bring some tone to your tummy as you descend. And then roll off to one side. Smooth. Yeah, go on, you go, you can do it. Oh, come on, you go. Yeah. And take a breath on your side. Take a few deep breaths on your side. Jaw soft, eyes soft, brain soft. Peel yourself up off the floor, all wrecked in a good way. And come up from the side. Yeah, sitting on a block or two or three, legs extended out in front of you. Great. Then both legs over to this side of your body, this side. And the top leg shin goes into the bottom leg foot arch, which you don't have to slap. I don't know why I did that. Little gap between the legs. Lift and shift until both legs land and you feel comfortable. Yeah, that's it. Close. Yeah, you're getting there. Every wiggle it gets a bit closer. It's just that foot. It's just got to turn like more that way. And then that knee forwards a bit. And yeah, and then, yeah, you're there. Takes a bit of wiggling sometimes. Good. That foot, it's got to go back until that comes, so that's got to go.
It's just a little bit.
Oh, on the medial meniscus. You've got a medial meniscus thing going on there.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, lift your derriere.
Oh, okay.
Any better?
It's gone somewhere else, but it's fine.
Okay. It's gone. Okay, that's better than the inner knee, though, because the inner knee we don't want. No. Medial meniscus. So the meniscus is a cartilage between the upper and lower leg bones, and on the because of the way Homo sapiens walk, we are heavy on the medial meniscus. So it sometimes gets a little frayed, and then it catches. So if you feel that, you've got to open up the space, maybe put something in the back. Does that feel better now?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, good. It's very common. medial meniscal injuries. Nearly everyone gets some sort of meniscal injury at some point, but you're still loved. Lift and turn away from your feet. Breathe through your nose. Yeah. Imagine your legs were relaxing every time you felt a little breeze in the room. So if you feel a tiny breeze, let that be a signal, let go, like the breeze is saying, let go. Let go. Let go. Soft eyes. Let go. Return to center. Catch your breath. Stretch your legs out. Give your body a little rub down. We call it an energy bath. And like a good bath, you should make sure you wash yourself everywhere. So you distribute the energy everywhere. Chest, tummy. I don't do this bit of my chest because of the microphone, but otherwise I would. Lower back. This is absolutely part of traditional Hatha yoga, energy bathing. So you feel sort of zingy, you want to feel zingy. And then once you feel zingy, your legs go the other side, same thing. And you've got a bit of zing all around the body. Vyana Vayu, everywhere energy. Similarly, lift and play your way into it, tune your way into it so it feels right for you. And without raising this back leg, inhale, lift and turn. Good job. Good job. Breathe through your nose. Breathe through your nose. Eyes relaxed. Imagine that you were relaxed. Now here's an area that I don't know that everyone's aware that they tense up in, the buttocks. Most people know when they've got tense shoulders, and people will even ask someone else, won't they? They say, oh, would you give my shoulders a little? But people aren't aware, and they wouldn't ask, about the buttocks. So how do you become aware of tense buttocks, the tension in the buttocks? Through your breath. So just for a moment, let's together bring our attention to the buttocks and simultaneously our attention to the breath. And tension releases from the buttocks as it releases from the breath when you're aware of both. It brings the psychophysical experience of quite literally trusting your seat. So all you got to do is notice buttocks and notice your breath at the same time. And the release of one will bring about the release of both. Return to center. Means we've got to come to corpse pose already. Can't believe. Do you feel like that too? I feel like that. I feel like, what? We just arrived. Anyway, corpse pose is good, so let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy it together. We're going to lay down on our backs. I suppose it's good if you did feel like the class has gone really quickly. That's better than if you were like, oh God, when will it end? So palms facing up, shoulder blades tucked under. I have to finish on time because there's a marvelous meditation class, a hot meditation class, no less, following this. So the texts tell us to lay on our backs as if we were dead. That's the texts. With limbs completely loose, with our mouth facing the sky. I'm going to add that your hands should be well clear of your yoga mat. And your palms should face up. And if there's anyone in the way, just poke them until they get out of your way. Shoulder blades scoot under the body, and that should leave your chest feeling buoyant, quite light. buoyant lightness in the chest. Love, surrender, trusting the breath, trusting the skin, trusting the moment. Trusting the breath, trusting the skin, trusting the moment. Give your fingers a little wiggle, and your toes and ankles and wrists can move a little. And natural stretches, just any sort of stretch that feels natural to you. Bend your legs when you're ready and place the soles of the feet onto the floor. Scoot the buttocks under and take a deep breath. Let the lower back completely release into the breath. The lower back completely releases into the breath. Then when you're ready, roll over onto your side facing, if you're in the room here, away from the Buddha side of the room. At home, lay on your left side. And knees drawn up and tummy soft. And if you draw your knees up and you have a soft tummy, you can kind of dwell in the sensations in the belly, which have, if you do dwell in them, if you rest in them, a profoundly restorative effect, like deep sleep. When you're ready, roll again, so you lay comfortably on your other side, similarly with your knees drawn up. And again, if you do draw the knees up, and then you bring your attention and rest it in the deep belly, that will again have that profoundly restorative effect. Begin to let a little light and colour filter in gently to the eyes. And you might stretch out an arm or a leg, bringing yourself round naturally, gently. And when you feel ready to come up, bring yourself up soft and easy from the side. Om just means something like may it be so. So if you agree with my following statement, you can follow my Om with an Om if you think may it be so. May the merit gained in our acting thus go to the alleviation of the suffering of all beings. Om. Well, I don't want it to end. Don't want you to go, but you have to go. So bugger off. But I don't want you to go because we've got meditation next. But you can stay for the meditation if you want. Obviously, Zoomers, you'd have to really run to the Buddhist Centre quick if you want to do the meditation. But thanks for coming, Zoomers. Lovely to see you all. I hope you've had a nice class. And look forward to seeing you very soon. Bye again.